In the first part, I discussed the concept of dopamine detox, emphasizing that it's not a quick fix, but a journey of intentional change. I shared my protocol for a successful detox, which involves 3 main steps. First, preparation. I set clear rules and structure for the detox to define my goals. Second, cutting. I eliminate 4 non-negotiable categories. A. Binge tech. I remove social media, TV, video games, forums, and political news from my devices. B. Unhealthy sex. I avoid pornography, masturbation, and dating apps, recognizing the irrational behavior driven by the pursuit of sex. C. Consumables. I stay away from alcohol, recreational drugs, and junk food. D. Thrill-seeking. I avoid gambling, shopping sprees, and extreme sports due to their unpredictable rewards and addictive nature. Third, duration. I recommend a minimum of 7 days for the detox to allow my brain to reset and reach a state of balance, with a maximum suggested limit of 30 days. I stress the importance of intention and discipline in the detox process, aiming for real growth, improved focus, and mental clarity. Part 2 of the protocol is execution. We've set up the logistics, the mindset, the rules, and the time frame. Now it's time to begin. As you begin a dopamine detox, you are guaranteed to experience some emotions. You'll feel anxious about being disconnected from the internet, or losing your Snapchat or Be Real stream. You'll feel uncomfortable with long silences as you're forced to make conversation with your friends instead of watching Netflix. You'll feel lonely with your thoughts and silence. You'll feel frustrated eating breakfast without your iPad, or taking a dump with a book instead of scrolling TikTok. But of all these emotions, there is one you will definitely experience, and you cannot try to escape. Boredom. What do we do when we feel the least bit bored? We reach for our phone. We start scrolling. It's an instinct. Our mind is trying everything it can to escape feeling bored. But what we're going to do instead is tolerate it. Think of boredom as the state of mind where there's still a lot of dopamine hanging around, but the receptors haven't rebalanced yet. Eventually, our mind is going to be so bored that doing anything will be better. But you don't just have to sit around all day and do nothing, although that's definitely an option. Don't forget that we also release dopamine for a lot of things that we do. It's often gradual and less intense than the stuff we're cutting out, but we need to jog our brain's memory, figuratively speaking, that it also gets dopamine from pursuing goals, spending time with cool people, learning, and a whole bunch of other stuff. With the execution phase, we're reconditioning our brain toward healthy dopamine alternatives, so we get a steadier release of dopamine, and we can actually enjoy doing the things that we used to do. To put this into action, we will undertake 3 practices every single day. Yes, you heard me right, every single day, without exceptions. Number 1 is self-reflection. This is the most important part of the execution phase because, in order to experience positive change, we first have to become aware of it. It doesn't have to be a deep trauma dump, exploring your deepest, darkest secrets. All the protocol requires is 10 minutes of self-reflection by meditating, journaling, practicing gratitude, or whichever method you prefer. There's really cool data suggesting that even 10 minutes of meditation can calm our minds, improve our mood, and give us long-term focus. Most people live every waking moment with constant distraction. The moment we wake up, we grab our phones, scroll through TikTok, listen to music during commutes, watch Netflix while eating, and even watch TV and scroll at the same time. The point I'm trying to make is that our minds are so consumed with instant gratification that we never make time to think about ourselves. No wonder we're stuck and not making progress toward becoming better humans. It's because we don't sit down and reflect. Self-reflection is the building block of self-improvement and the vehicle for self-discovery. Can you devote just 10 minutes a day to changing your life? The people who say they don't have time for self-reflection are the ones who need it the most. Number 2 is exercise. It doesn't have to be a full-on workout. It can be as simple as a 30-minute walk around the neighborhood or park, yoga, stretching, a bike ride, or rock climbing, whatever fits your vibe. Move your body. Exercise increases blood flow throughout our body, and yes, it also causes a healthy and steady release of dopamine. That's why you feel so good after a workout, and partly why people experience runner's highs. Regular exercise improves our mood, increases our focus and reaction time, keeps our body running smoothly, and makes us look sexy. There are literally a billion other health benefits from regular exercise, and I'm sure you don't need me to remind you. Number 3 is to connect. Talk to another living, breathing human being. Believe it or not, having real conversations with other people releases dopamine and other neurochemicals. Again, this doesn't have to be a super elaborate thing. It can be a 5-minute phone call with your parents, a friend you've neglected lately, or maybe your older brother. But if you want to take the protocol to the next level, then tell them why you're doing a dopamine detox. Get them involved and inspire them to take control of their lives too. I've grown more as a person from an enthusiastic and passionate friend than from anyone else. Maybe you'll be the spark for someone else's self-discovery journey. And that's all the protocol requires. Once you end the detox, we reach the final part of the protocol. Restoration. Restoration is the phase where we begin to reintroduce the things we cut out during our dopamine detox, but only after careful consideration. Sure, we can be extreme and say we're never going to use social media, video games, or drink ever again, but personally, I think that's completely unnecessary. Think about it this way. If you have to go as far as to create an absolute rule never to use social media again, then who really has control? You're being held hostage and restricting your opportunities for self-discovery. The goal of a dopamine detox is to regain control of our minds, so it's not about permanently deleting all instant gratification or dopaminergic activities. It's about being intentional with the way we consume, and this is why I don't think the detox needs to go beyond 30 days. Because once we reach dopamine homeostasis, the restoration phase of this protocol will help us build the life that we want. For context, the idea of restoration came from Nassim Nicholas Taleb's concept of anti-fragility. After a catastrophic incident, we normally think of two outcomes, something being fragile and breaking apart, or something being resilient and bouncing back. For example, if I 360-degree around house kick a tiny Shih Tzu, there's going to be critical damage. It's fragile. If I try the same thing to a massive elephant, there is going to be zero damage. It's resilient. But there's actually a third outcome he calls anti-fragile, becoming stronger after catastrophe. Taleb's opening example is the Hydra, familiar from the Greek tale of Hercules or Avengers. When one head is removed, 3 more take its place. As its heads are severed, the Hydra doesn't just bounce back, it becomes more and more powerful. Restoration makes us anti-fragile. We just spent 7 days cleaning the slate, hitting the reset button, and disrupting the status quo of our lives. But instead of bouncing back to where we were before, being stuck, being unmotivated to pursue the dream life we desire without mental clarity and focus, why not become stronger? So, before I decided to reintroduce things back into my life, I asked myself very important questions. What are the types of things that I value? What type of person do I want to be? And what does that person spend their time doing? Does this app, video game, subscription, 6-pack of beer, or new pair of Yeezys align with my values and how I want to spend my time? Do they help me become the person that I want to be? If they don't, then leave them out of your life. To give a personal example, I did reintroduce Twitter and Instagram. Other self-improvers will disagree with me here, but I believe that some scrolling has value and can be healthy, as long as it's done sparingly and with intention. I really enjoy a specific subsection of self-improvement philosophy on Twitter, and so I really only subscribe there to get the ideas that I want and actually connect with other like-minded creators. Through restoration, I identified that very specific angle, and now I only use Twitter to engage in that community. Same with Instagram. I love branding, design, photography, art and music, so I also use it to engage and explore those areas of interest. And this is probably the most millennial thing I'll ever say, but none of my friends use TikTok or Be Real. We're too old for that, so all of our group chats are still on Instagram. But I also won't allow myself to get consumed, so I very intentionally set a limit on my phone of 20 minutes a day for each app. And this has worked amazingly for me. I get exactly the value I want out of these apps and leave the rest behind. So, I really encourage you to get into the habit of putting that much intentional thought into the things you want to reintroduce into your life. If down the line, You realize it's not serving the same purpose that it once was, then get rid of it again. This is how powerful you can become with restoration. You'll have the ability to pick and choose the best parts about technology, video games, social media, and then leave the rest behind. We can regain control. Adding more doesn't always lead to more happiness, but it always leads to more distraction. And that's my full protocol for a dopamine detox. Ever since I did it a couple of months ago, it's helped me tremendously, and I'm going to keep using it every few months to hit a hard reset, especially when I'm starting to feel burnt out or notice that I'm not spending time the way that I want to. And I have to preface that, like all good things, this protocol won't instantly transform your life. Reframing our mindset and breaking down barriers and beliefs takes intentional practice and time, but that's why we have protocols in place. If you do decide to give the protocol a go, please let me know in the comments below. How did it work for you? What didn't work for you? What realizations and intentions did you discover about yourself? This is going to be a great year ahead of us. We're going to do incredible things. We're going to become better humans and live more fulfilling lives. I hope you'll join us. Bye.